Business news time for you now. Charles Pellegrin is here. Something different, though. We're going to head to South America with Charles. The future of the continent's largest free trade bloc increasingly under doubt because of political friction.
Mercosur is the name of that bloc. It brings together Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Paraguay. It held its presidential summit on Monday in the Paraguayan capital, Asunción, with one glaring absence, that of Argentine President Javier Milei, who instead of joining his counterparts from that economic bloc, decided instead to go to an ultra-conservative conference in Brazil, attended by former Brazilian leader Jair Bolsonaro. The absence not surprising, considering Milei, who's labeled himself an anarcho-capitalist, has been extremely vocal in his criticisms of leftist South American leaders, especially Brazil's Lula, whom he described as, quote, a little lefty with an inflated ego. At the summit, Lula told reporters the decision not to attend the meeting was a huge foolishness. Let's take a listen.
I think the losers are those who didn't come. It's silly for the president of an important country like Argentina to not participate in Mercosur. It's sad for Argentina. Now, one thing is true. We at Mercosur are going to try and do this, and we're working on strengthening it with Argentina.
Yeah, so Sean, tell us more about Mercosur, what the trade bloc is and why its future is in doubt.
Well, when it was founded 33 years ago in 1991, there'd been high hopes that after years of military dictatorships in the region, it would see capital and goods move across borders with more ease. It brought together the continent's two largest economies in Brazil and Argentina, as well as Paraguay and Uruguay, making for a combined market of over 295 million people and an economy worth over $2.8 trillion. But there are structural issues. These economies are very similar. They tend to produce the same types of goods, mainly agricultural goods, at similar price ranges. This means that currently trade within the Mercosur bloc makes up only about 15% of members' total commerce. Combined with the stark political differences between the member countries, as we saw earlier, Mercosur is also mostly known for its inability to really conclude free trade deals, as it was a case with the European Union recently, or China as well, because they can't find a common ground or agreements. And they've only concluded free trade deals with smaller players such as Israel and Egypt. In spite of Milei's absence and these difficulties, the group is growing, though, for the first time in years. On Monday, it ratified the entrance of Bolivia in the group.
Something different now. We're going to head back to France here. Uncertainty, still the word of the day, especially when it comes to economic life here.
It's really unclear who will be governing the country with three competing blocs in parliament and no clear majority. And the new Popular Front is leading in the number of seats and is really hoping to push with its economic agenda. Eliza Herbert takes a closer look at how these measures are seen or would be seen by businesses and workers alike.
A number of hotly debated measures in France are awaiting their fate, stuck in limbo with the current political uncertainty. One is a proposal by the new Popular Front Left Alliance to raise the minimum wage by €200 a month to a total of $1,600. Some employees are cautiously supportive, so long as it doesn't hike inflation, while directors are concerned it could cost their companies.
Right now, we're thinking more about stabilising staff than hiring. So if we have to increase wages, then maybe we'll be talking about redundancies.
Then there's the issue of the age of retirement. Macron's bill to reduce the age from 64 to 62 was fiercely opposed in 2023. Now it could be repealed by the left, an option backed by this union.
We've known for a year and a half that the country doesn't want this reform, that it's unfair, violent and ineffective, and that it should be abandoned.
But not all unions agree. Some feel that turning the clock back could lead to a deterioration in public finances and higher household taxes. Then there's the unemployment insurance reform, which was recently suspended by the current Prime Minister. but is opposed by the left and right parties. The bill would further reduce job seekers' rights and benefits, like for this man who just lost his job a few weeks ago.
For me, unemployment is a fundamental right. You pay into it, you work for it, so it's only right that you should be protected.
The next government, whatever it may look like, will have to decide on the future of these measures.
So, how is all that affecting, if at all, the stock market, Charles?
Well, the open in Europe, France's leading stock index, the CAC 40, opening the session lower, as you can see, down down almost 0.5% lower, with that political uncertainty weighing on investors' sentiment, the lack of clear majority in Parliament, making it harder to pass legislation or economic reform of any kind. And the CAC 40 significantly lower than it was before Macron called that snap election in early June.
Charles, thanks so much. Jean Pellegrin with Business for us here on France 24.